Hello and welcome to Reach for Life. This is an exciting youth program that gives you the opportunity to listen, look, learn, and live. I am Victor and I'm with a team of great friends, Ogi, Angana, Monica, Melinda, and Busisiwe. They help us to reflect on a number of important things that we have in the program, Reach for Life. Well, today we want to focus on walking with the wise. This is an interesting topic. What is the difference between a thermometer and a heater? A thermometer measures the temperature of a room, while a heater influences the temperature of the room. A thermometer takes its cues from the outside world. If you bring a thermometer into a room, it will let the room determine what the temperature will be. A heater, on the other hand, does the opposite. It sets the temperature for the room. When it comes to your friends, God doesn't want you to be a spiritual thermometer. He doesn't want them to be negatively influencing you, to pull you away from Him and His words. Rather, He wants you to be a spiritual heater. He wants you to positively influence your friends, to draw them closer to God and His ways. Your friends can help you cope with tough times. They can help you to have fun and to avoid loneliness. However, if you choose bad friends, they can also destroy your life, especially if you stop influencing them for good and let them start influencing you for bad.
I'm so excited to read Psalm chapter 1. Blessed is the person who obeys the law of the Lord. They don't follow the advice of evil people. They don't make a habit of doing what sinners do. They don't join those who make fun of the Lord and His law. Instead, the law of the Lord gives them joy. They think about His law day and night. That kind of person is like a tree that is planted near a stream of water. It always bears its fruits at the right time. Its leaves don't dry up. Everything godly people do turns out well. Sinful people are not like that at all. They are like straw that the wind blows away. When the Lord judges them, their life will come to an end. Sinners won't have any place among those who are godly. The Lord watches over the lives of godly people, but the lives of sinful people will lead to their death.
Thank you, Angana, for reading that first psalm in the Bible. Yes, it's Psalm chapter 1. Now, having heard that psalm, it's important that we turn to the lessons from this. And to help us do that, Melinda is here.
So what is it that we learn from the first psalm? This psalm refers to godly people and sinful people. This doesn't mean that godly people are sinless or that sinful people don't have good in their lives. It refers to people who know God and try to walk in His ways, and people who don't know God and don't walk in His ways. So what does this psalm teach us? Once you come to know God, choose your friends well, according to verse 1. If you follow the advice of evil people, or get into the habit of doing what sinners do, or join those who make fun of the Lord and His ways, as stated in verse 1, it will definitely cost you. Rather, we should think about this word day and night, as in verse 2. As we reflect on who God is, what He has done for us and His ways, it leads to joy. God's word is like a river that we send down our roots into, and the result is that we bear much fruit. By allowing friends who are far from God to pull you away from Him, you can lose the opportunity to receive His gifts of blessings, as stated in verse 1. You may lose the opportunity to receive His gifts of fruitfulness, as stated in verse 3. And in verse 6, it shows that you may lose the opportunity to receive His watchful care. If you allow your friends to lead you away and you forget to stand for God and His ways, you may be blown away, as stated in verse 4, and you may die spiritually. We find this in verse 6. This does not mean we can't be friends with these people. Jesus was called a friend of sinners, and He showed us that we need to be there for people who are far from God. But being there for these friends does not mean we take our cues from them, nor should they come between us and God. It is not wise to follow Jesus and date someone who does not follow Him, because we are walking in different directions. A line of trees usually grows on a riverbank. As we put Jesus first, we can ask God to bring friends into our lives who also love Him and His Word.
It's always great to have you, Melinda, in the program Reach for Life and to hear the lessons that you bring in this program. And we now turn to the three great friends, Busi, Ogi, and Monica. Over to you guys.
I liked the explanation of the difference between a heater as well as a thermometer. In all honesty, there have been times when I have been more of a heater, a bit of an influence on my friends. But then again, there have been times when they have been a thermometer, where they were more of an influence on me.
Good point. Our closest friends always influence us, so we need to choose them wisely.
There's a Bible verse about that. Walk with wise people and become wise. A companion of foolish people suffers harm. This is found in Proverbs 13 verse 20.
Yes, our choice of friends determines the quality and direction of our lives.
Wow, you can definitely say that again, because this is really deep.
Our choice of friends determines the quality and direction of our lives.
So true. When we spend a lot of time with godly friends, we become more godly. Nothing reveals more about the person we are becoming than the choice of friends.
That's why we have to be careful with negative peer pressure. Another verse says, "Don't let anyone fool you. Bad companions make a good person bad." This is found in 1 Corinthians 15 verse 33.
The habits of people we spend the most time with will affect us. We'll start to speak like them and sometimes dress like them. We are also more likely to do things they do. That's what peer pressure is, doing something you wouldn't normally do so that you can fit in with your friends.
In the last step, we spoke about drugs and alcohol. Most teens don't think to themselves, I'm going to try that stuff. Usually someone uses it and says, hey, give this a try.
Sometimes they will be polite like that. Sometimes they will tease you and make you feel like there is something wrong with you for not trying it.
Do you know why people do that? When we do something that we know is not right, we actually feel better if other people are doing it too. Then we can tell ourselves, I'm not the only one.
Whatever the reason our friends use to put peer pressure on us, we need to say, thanks, but no thanks. For example, hey, have a cigarette. Thanks, but no thanks. Hey, let's steal something from the store. No thanks. Don't go to church. Come to my house instead. No thanks. Check out this porn site. No thanks. Have sex with me. Everyone is doing it. No thanks. There's pretty big party tonight. Crazy stuff is going to happen. No thanks.
Saying no is easy for some people. But if you are lonely or if you desperately want these people to like you, it's going to be hard to say no.
True. It can be very hard. But you have to remember that you are a tree by the river of God's word. Standing strong. If you stand for nothing, you're going to fall for anything.
The Bible tells us of a story of Moses, the son of Pharaoh. He was part of the elite crowd, one of the very cool kids. But because he stood for God, he said, no, thank you. And in him saying no, thank you, it ended up costing him a lot. Hebrews chapter 11 says, he chose to be treated badly together with the people of God. He chose not to enjoy sin's pleasures. They only last for a short time. He suffered shame because of Christ. He thought it had great value. Moses considered it better than the riches of Egypt. He was looking ahead to his reward, and this can be found from verse 25 to 26.
That's a good verse to remember. It might be costly to say no, but God will reward you in a long run, and you will be so glad you stuck with Christ.
There's so much to this conversation. I have to ask myself, who are the friends who influence me the most? In what ways do they pull me away from God or draw me closer to Him?
And how can I break away from bad company and make new friends?
And how can I be a heater, bringing positive peer pressure to others?
That's a lot to think about. We have come to the end now.
Until next time, keep on reaching for life.
I'm always excited that we can have this conversation with these three great friends in the program Reach for Life, and they help us really reflect and pick lessons for our lives. I turn to you, friend. What did you pick today? What did you learn? Why don't you email us or WhatsApp us? Why? Because if you do, we'd like to share with you some of the resources that we do have for the program Reach for Life. So email us on info@twrafrica.org, info@twrafrica.org. And the WhatsApp number is +27 78 014 7955, +27 78 014 7955. I do hope that you picked that number. Do you want me to say that again? Well, +27 78 014 7955. So, on behalf of my friends Ogionke Sitole, Busisiwe Matebule, Monica Murava, Melinda Kajilimandanga na Kaonga, I am Victor saying, guys, let's reach for life. See you in the next program. Bye.
You are king. You reign forever, king. You are Lord. You rule in all the earth. Every kingdom on earth is subject to your reign. Every nation and all created thing will say, you are king. Reign forever, king. You are Lord. You rule in all the earth. Every kingdom on earth is subject to your reign. Every nation will say, thing will say, just who you go.